to the Engage show, and if you didn't see last week's show, we were with one of our strategic partner account managers, Stephanie, where we went in depth about tracking your marketing using Service Titan, and it was really awesome. And we learned a lot, and I hope a lot of our customers got the ebook. So that's awesome. And this week we are talking social media, and I'm here with our social media maven, Kirsten.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, and you?
So Kirsten is one of our social media gurus who gets the job done, and this is exciting because on this show what we do is we talk to a bunch of different people. We try to talk to vendors who have services and types of products that serve the plumbing and HVAC industry, but we also, I think it's important that you guys all meet the team, right? Because, you know, Josh does the videos and they get to see him, and I do some videos and I go to trade shows and I meet you guys, but it's like Josh and I don't do any of it, man. We're just the pretty faces. And it's the people on the team here that are the gurus, the people that get it done. And today we have Kirsten with us. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Are you nervous?
Just a smidge.
Don't
It's
be
no big
nervous.
deal.
She's been stressing out. She couldn't sleep last night. The show was supposed to be yesterday, and we had to put it off a day, and I almost put it off again just to stress her out a little more. It's the way I do it. Right?
Yeah.
So tell us about, we have some real in-depth questions to ask you today, but tell us a little bit about, you know, a day in the life of Kirsten at Plumbing and HVAC SEO.
So I wake up in the morning, and the first thing I do is I look in the mirror and I say, "You got this, girl." I'm just kidding. No, I come in and I check what's trending, if there's anything worth sharing, and then I go through our clients and I just start scheduling our content.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just straight
Engagement. Take care of engagement.
to it. I try to, yes.
Okay. Cool. So, you know, social media has morphed so much over the years, and it's like, when you think about social media and internet marketing and the plumbing industry and in any business, social media, it took 10 years for social media to really be embraced. And I remember when we first started the company almost 8 years ago, we were doing some basic Facebook stuff and Twitter stuff, and it was all new. And plumbers and HVAC guys are just like, I'm not on Facebook. Why do I need it? No one really understood why they needed it. And it was okay to engage with your fans. Who are my fans? I don't know. So, but that's all changed, and social media is, you know, almost as important as Google is today in their lives, because it's the second place, right? It's the place where engagement happens, right? People judge companies by social media.
Yeah.
Because let's be frank here. When you go on a plumbing website, you don't know who they are.
Right.
Or an HVAC website, your air conditioner breaks and you're immediately thinking, "Oh my God, my air conditioner broke. It's August. I'm going to drop $4,000." Search on Google, AC company Miami, 20 companies come up. Who do you trust? It's just a website, right?
Right.
But when they have a social media part of it, it's like there's a human side to it. And so, you know, I think you'll agree with me, that when you're on a social media page, there should be posts, pictures of the team,
Yeah.
of the personality, because people don't buy from companies anymore. They buy from people they know, like, and trust.
Yeah, 100%. Which is something that we're going to talk about. Original content is so important. We can post a bajillion DIY articles, we can post a bajillion call to actions, but no one's going to be interested if they're not seeing your face.
Exactly.
No one's going to be interested if they don't know who exactly they're dealing with, who exactly they're inviting to their home.
Exactly.
So having pictures of your team is vital.
And like events too, right?
Yeah, events.
Things that you do outside.
Yep.
You know, you're human. Your team is human, and you guys do events. You do picnics, and you do all those you may even do charity events or evening fundraisers. These are all social media.
Yep.
Social media ideas.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and it's also a place where reviews could sit, right? So a Facebook page can have reviews there. You can have videos of your customers. Maybe a tech shoots a review with a customer on his phone. You upload it to your Facebook page, and it's powerful stuff.
That's amazing.
So let's get some of these questions where we really can go in more depth than just a Facebook post, right? Because there's so much more to Facebook and Twitter and even Instagram today. Because now you can advertise local businesses on all these platforms.
Yes.
And it's always been a challenge because these are areas where people are not necessarily shopping for services. They're kind of there to be with their friends and family. And if you just kind of throw ads at them like, unclog your toilet for $50, it's like, my toilet's not clogged. Or how do they know my toilet's clogged?
Yeah.
So one of the things that I think we're starting to hear a few questions on are, what are Google My Business posts and how are they important?
Google My Business posts are not to be confused with Google Plus posts. They are completely different. Google Plus doesn't even show up on your Google listing like Google My Business posts do. They will show up underneath your work hours, I believe, and they're primarily they're time sensitive. So some are 7 days and others you can go up to, I believe, 3 months, and then they'll go away. They do disappear. And they're great to use for promotional things that you're doing, events that you're doing in the community, which is really cool. And it just makes your Google listing look so nice. And Google loves Google, so yeah.
Exactly.
It's very
You can do
important.
like sales.
You can do sales, you can do
promotions.
coupons, you can do seasonal.
Is there opportunity for events?
Yes, you can promote events.
Cool.
You can promote a lot of things on there actually, but it is time sensitive. So.
Right. It's also another thing where when it's that gone are the days where you go to Google and it's just this stagnant page and you don't know who's on the other side, right?
Yeah.
And it's just, you see their My Listing. I remember going back in the day where you looked at a My Listing page and it's like, it was clearly outdated stuff. Pictures weren't updated, and so this is just another avenue where you know there's a pulse. So wow, someone is posting live stuff right there, and it doesn't say, it's not July 4th and it says Merry Christmas 2016.
Yeah.
You know? So it's a way to keep the vibe alive, right?
The vibe alive, absolutely.
What are some of the posts that you do?
So some of the posts that I do, which go out to Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, and now Google My Business post, they are 3 types. We've got your service-related one, which is a call to action that links back to your site related to the service that we're talking about. And along with it goes a nice little graphic with your logo, the number to call, and that is, like I like to call it, a mini ad. And then we have the original content, which would be reviews of the month, fun facts that I create for our clients, or sometimes there's some who will send over pictures, like recently Hall's Plumbing sent over an employee's birthday, and so that was such a good content to take over and post for them, and so that would be in the original content bracket. And then I have the shared content, which is where DIYs and home improvements, or sometimes I'll go to Lennox's Facebook page and I'll share from there onto their pages. So those are the types of posts that I do.
Okay, cool. And tell us, what are the benefits of having original content? I know we touched on that a little.
Yeah.
What are the real benefits of original content, original photos? Because so many times I've been scrolling a feed and I see like stock photos. We all know the plumbing and HVAC stock photos. They're kind of all the same. The guy in the striped shirt with the dungarees overalls, and it's like immediately, and he's got the big white mustache, and he looks like he's from another country, and so you kind of know that's not the real thing.
Yeah, and like you run the risk of looking like a meme account if you keep posting memes or like just plumber related things, because you have to think like a consumer here. You have to think of what you like to see when you're scrolling on Facebook. and you like to see people.
Mm-hmm.
You like to see them engaging with communities. You just like to see them doing their thing.
Right.
And when it comes to original content, it allows the consumer to see just that. It allows them to see who exactly they're inviting into their home. Because Jason is celebrating a birthday, it kind of humanizes your company.
Yeah.
And that is so important, especially for home services, because you are going into someone's home. You want to create a trustworthy image, and quite frankly, one of the only ways to do that is to like show who you are.
Right.
Your content.
It's humanizing your company.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's what social media is, right? And there are paid advertising programs in social media,
Yes.
and they're really great for products and software and applications. And occasionally I see a plumbing ad on there, and we've done some paid ads for plumbers when they were looking for technicians. It was a good place to try to get people maybe to apply for a job. And we've ran a few ads for water heater specials and things like that. They don't do as good as what social media in a service industry for is trust. Yeah. It's a total trust play because you guys know, you run the businesses. It's a tough business, right? It's you and every other plumbing and HVAC company in the world who's really bad at what they do. And they provide bad service, and it gives everybody a bad name. And so there's the trust factor. And I don't care where the customer calls. From a customer's perspective, myself looking for a plumber or an HVAC company, fortunately I have a good Rolodex of them for obvious reasons. We have this amazing company which helps you guys. But when I don't when I don't have a service guy, let's use a electrician for example. I go on to the Home Advisor or something like that where I thought I was protected, and many a times I just don't. And then I get bad service, and that stinks. And so now what I do is I get a little smarter. I search on Google, I search on Home Advisor, and then I look at their reviews on Yelp and Google, and I look at their Facebook page.
Yep.
And
we'll always land there.
Yeah, and what happens is when they don't have a solid Facebook page, meaning it's up to date. Because you can build a Facebook page, right, and then put 2 posts and never come back to it.
Right.
And is that more damaging?
A lot more damaging.
Yeah.
It looks fake.
Yeah, it looks like you put a photo of the team once and never came back and said, Merry Christmas, and it's now July. Don't laugh, it happens.
Yeah.
I've seen it. So it's really important to keep that up to date, and it's really important to engage there. And don't be afraid to ask questions, right?
Yeah.
Like, put out surveys and ask questions of your potential clients. And it's a great place to market and test
Actually,
things.
a cool little survey that you could, or like a poll you could do is, what are your most troublesome items in your home? Someone will probably say the toilet, your drains are always clogged. That's just a fun little, just engage. It's just a cool little way to engage, so that's a cool little tip for you.
Yeah, people will definitely engage with that. And I always think that when someone is looking to either do upgrades in their home, like they're changing their kitchen or they're changing their bathroom, plumbing and HVAC guys, they don't, more so on the plumbing side, they don't do all the cabinet stuff that the homeowner's looking for, but they can take care of the plumbing part of it. And it's not necessarily the pipes under the drain, it's the faucets and the touch faucet. And these are some great ideas, or posting pictures of those, like a before and after, or even reviews of, because people are always looking for reviews on items, like the touch faucets, for example, the technology behind them. Those are great areas to do that. When we first started internet marketing for plumbing and HVAC companies, roughly 8 years ago, it was very easy to do this. It was the wild, wild west, and you can basically build a website, write content, duplicate it 100 times, change the city on each page, put a Facebook icon, a Twitter icon, and a YouTube icon, and post to those once in a blue moon. Sites would rank, and articles that we would write would be how to find a New Jersey plumber. It's like, when I look back at that stuff now, the industry has changed so much, and that's because the consumer has changed too. And not only are they using social media to find the pulse and find out if the company's real, but the articles that they write or that we write for our clients now are a lot more in depth, right? They're answering questions, because you know what our team does, and this is a little outside of the social media part, is they're looking at the stats that people are searching on, and they're taking those questions and forming articles around them. And so when social media gets involved with that, is we take those posts, we post them on your Facebook page, we can take a piece of content, break it into a million pieces, and throw it all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, what are, if some of our clients are doing social media on their own, or even we're doing social media for them. Social media is so much better when the customer is engaged with it, right? So what are some of the things that our clients, you guys, they can do to make your job look so much better for them?
Back to the original content. That should be like this webinar's theme. Take a picture of your truck at your favorite restaurant. Take a picture of your service technicians have phones. Have them take selfies with the clients that they're serving that day. I obviously ask for their permission, but that would be a cool thing to add onto. Employees of the month, employee birthdays, charity events. Communicate with your community. Engage with your community. Those are the people that you're serving. Those are the ones that you want to have on your team, so why not engage with local charities, go to local hospitals, do something, engage with your community, and then send over pictures of that. What other types?
Team meetings, when the group's together, it's always fun. People like to know that the guys that are coming to their house are well trained. Yeah. And so those are great opportunities, and you can do it in photo format, or even better, video format. Videos. Now, I'm not talking about a 10-minute video, because no one's going to sit down and watch a 10-minute video of your training. But if you're discussing a few important topics on customer service issues and things like that, that's great. That's great to share. Just be out there on the field, share what you do, share what you love to do, and people will see that and people will love it, quite frankly. I like talking about customer service things, right? Because I think what happens with when you guys are doing the work, and sometimes you don't know the feel of the client, and so sometimes you have to think of yourself from a client's perspective. Yeah. And I think some of the things that they're looking to hear are, and I only say this out of experience, when I was looking for an air conditioning system, my air conditioner broke, and I immediately went into a panic mode. And I was like, oh my God, who am I going to get? And so I started looking around, and what I found was I went to a website, and I went to a few websites, and there's some really bad HVAC websites out there. They obviously were not
none of
HVAC
ours. None of ours.
But one of the things I look at is I do look at social media, like I said before, but I also look at key factors on their website that provide social proof, and that is videos, customer service statements, and things like, you may not think this is important, but one of the things that I chose was this particular AC guy was the #1 Rheem dealer and a bunch of years in a row. Now, I know that he's the #1 Rheem dealer because he sells the most Rheem dealers in Fort Lauderdale area, whatever it is. So, but deep down inside, if he's selling all these units, well then something's good about him. So those are key things that could be shared on social media as well, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's important stuff. So for clients who may not be doing social media with us, shame. But what are some things that they can do in-house to get started on their own?
Again, take pictures of what you're doing. Start liking charities around you. start liking hospitals, and by liking I mean like Facebook like. Start engaging. The simplest pictures, literally an employee of the month or an employee's birthday, seems so small, but it honestly makes such an impact on your social media, and it makes you look trustworthy. It makes you look like you are the top dog in your business, and that's very important.
It's also, years ago, before the internet, you know, the companies would communicate more through newsletters, and you'd get a print newsletter in the mail, and you know, you page through it and you saw things like that. Sending out newsletters is still very good, but also social media is now the digital newsletter. It's that place where you can really humanize your business. So you have a little challenge for them all today, don't you?
I do have a challenge. I have two challenges. One is for you to send 3, and this is primarily for the social media clients that do social media with us. It is to send over 3 pictures to your strategic partners, and it can be absolutely anything.
Strategic partners being our account managers.
Account managers,
We're morphing that still.
Are we? I thought it was.
I don't think everyone knows yet.
Sorry. Well, fun fact, they are strategic partners. They're not account managers anymore. Send over 3 pictures, you doing something out in the community, an employee's birthday again, or your favorite client. I'm sure some of them have like clients for years. So honor them, thank them. So that's 3 pictures that you send over to your strategic partner / account manager. And then the last challenge is for you to hang out or do something with a local charity. Go to an event, whatever it is, and take pictures, document it, and then send it our way so we can do our work.
Yeah,
do what we do best, and that is make you look good. So those are your challenges.
Cool. I have a couple tips for you as well, from a social standpoint, and I just forgot what they were. My mind. No, I'm just kidding. Number 1, like you said before, take pictures with your customers. If you go to our website, you'll see Josh and I, you know, when we visit client locations, we take pictures with them. It's social proof. It would be so much better for plumbing and HVAC companies to do that. You technicians out there, they're obviously bonding with the client, and you have to have a certain comfort level there. And at that point, you know, when they're doing their Nearby Now check-in, they're asking for the review, they're getting the review and all that stuff. It's also a great, if they're giving you the review anyway, it's a great opportunity to say to them, do you mind if we snap a picture together? Yeah. And you put that on your social media, on your Facebook page, and you know, if we're doing it, give us the picture, give us information about the client and the kind of the general neighborhood that they're in. Because if I go to a Facebook page and I see a picture of a plumber in my neighborhood with one of my neighbors, I may not know that neighbor, but if there's a caption says something like, just had a great service with so-and-so from the so-and-so neighborhood, we'd love to service you too. That's when you start seeing your neighbors with their plumber or their HVAC guy. I think that's a good thing to do. Another website is neighborhood.com, which is a fantastic site. It's a social network for communities, and unfortunately there's nothing we can do there because it doesn't allow third-party companies in quite yet. But you, as a living in your neighborhood, or if you know people that live in a certain neighborhood, for instance, neighborhood app, it's an app on your phone. The neighborhood app in my area covers about, I don't know, about 6 or 7 different subdivisions, and they're all in the same general area. And what's happening in these neighborhood areas, the questions in there blow my mind. And a lot of them are, can anyone recommend a good plumber? Can anyone recommend a good electrician? Can anyone recommend a good roofer? And every time they say plumber and AC guy in my area, I put our 2 clients in there that are in this that service that general area, and it's word of mouth marketing, and it's happening in a cool space. There's also advertising opportunities in neighborhood.com, which I think would be phenomenal, and it's got to be pretty cheap. So, did you have fun today?
I had a good time.
Okay, you want to do it again tomorrow?
No, thank you.
Well, listen, I thought it was a great show. I love talking about social media and how how plumbing and HVAC companies can integrate it into their
Yeah.
marketing and be real with it. It's because it's morphed and it's changed so much over the years.
It really has.
It's so much more than posting a picture of a plumbing truck or posting a picture of a water heater saying, call today, a $29 water heater job. Remember, people are not on social media looking to buy. They are on social media to be with their friends and families and look up old girlfriends from high school. That's what social media used to be, and and they still do that stuff today, but you kind of have to, kind of mend in there, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I thank you. I know your time is valuable, and I thank you for spending it with us today on the Engage Show. If you're watching this live, thank you. If you're not watching it live, well, you know that, and you're watching the recording right now. But either way, join us in a couple weeks for our next Engage Show, where we will bring on another member of our team, and hopefully I can get someone from my design department on, because these guys are creatures, man. They sit in the dark and work on the computers, no personality, and we're going to kind of pull that out of them. So thanks for joining us on Engage today, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Good.